The attraction was instant.
I wasn't worried about doing a new version, I was just rather surprised.
I thought it was an incredibly funny show that was long enough ago to remake.
The characters are still so fresh and funny, and no, I look forward to it.
Just working with Martin, it's just very funny.
It's still a really good, interesting subject of people just trying to keep their lives together in everyday life.
Minutes late. Doors stuck for 27 minutes at Waterloo owing to software implosion. Reggie Perrin is, I think, rather admirable, rather smart. Nobody's fool, astute, witty, sharp. Just frustrated and a little bit mad.
Chris wants a meeting.
Chris? Shy Coldplay frontman Chris Martin? Chris Evett, the last tennis player to wear free knickers professionally?
Well, knowing Martin Clunes was going to play it made it easier because we know that he's going to do a damn fine job on the on characterisation. With somebody who's in every scene, you just pray that he's going to be, sort of on affable form, and he has been. So it's been great.
Good. At least I can spend some time with.
Like them on the last one.
Is anybody? Are you noticing that I'm not actually getting an aperture there, or is anybody giving a rats? No. No, it's fine. Good. And now I can. What can I do? What's the line?
Now I can enjoy my own company.
That's right. Good. Now I can enjoy my own company. He's not in a terrible position. He's got a job. He's got a good job. He's got a house. He's got a lovely wife. He's seemingly doing all right at a time when lots of people aren't. But I guess because of the quality of his mind, it frustrates him. The repetition of going on the trains, the absurdity of some of the things he has to think about for his work. But he has the wit and the wisdom to sort of know that. He doesn't apportion blame, I don't think, in the wrong place, like a stupid person would. He just has this release, this liberation of wrecking balling his mother, or whatever, which of course is what we enjoy. You go, hooray! He struck a blow for freedom, but then actually he didn't, and poor old Reggie's left stuck in his life. But I like him, he's a good man.
It's true to the original. It's Reggie Perrin, and it has to be, but he's facing a world which in many ways is quite different.
Just going through Jasmine's inbox.
I think the difference is more in the pressures that the character faces rather than the character himself.
I know he's needy and a bit cranky, but frankly, so are you these days.
Partly because every time I come home, the house is full of the walking wounded, or a troop of line dancers, or the action on knits committee.
Any chance of a beer?
One character has changed a great deal. It's what was CJ and is now Chris.
The door's over here.
Yes, hello, Chris. What a surprise. Are you in the Helsinki area?
You need help, and I have come to give it. You know what business is like?
A marrow. A shoe.
Business is like a bear. If you don't eat it, it will eat you. He, on the outside, appears to be a sort of self-made man, very together, very businesslike, but we realise that actually it's all just a front. Broomtech is a corner shop, and we're living in a Walmart world. These are our sales figures? Yeah. These are our world sales figures, and they're crap. It's time to go global.
He's got all the bravura, but there's not as much behind it. There's not the old school tie. There's not the establishment, if you like. He's living on his wits, which aren't great.
Oh, there's something I've been meaning to say, Reggie. Cheer up! Oh, no.
You've changed him brilliantly to make him more of a modern boss. I mean, he's younger than Reggie. He knows less than Reggie about the job, but he's the boss, and that adds enormously to Reggie's irritation.
If the cat slides down the flagpole, then nobody wins.
It's the treatment of women, funny enough, is one of the big changes, I think, from the 70s television, where a sitcom could have a wife who was just a wife and had no meaning. And Susan, I'm home, darling. And she'd take a briefcase and produce a meal, and that was all she needed to do because it was the 70s and it was a sitcom.
Sorry to interrupt, gentlemen. I've baked these biscuits. I hope you like them. Excuse me, I'm just going to turn the beds.
Yes, run along now, dear. Thank you.
Well, Nick is a teacher. Not absolutely sure what she teaches. I think she might teach English. I think we decided she teaches English.
No, I'm sick of being 27 minutes late every day. You look lovely.
You know, they've obviously been married a long time. She's, you know, with a man that she obviously loves, but who the routine of their lives, which of course what the whole thing is about, but the routine of their lives has taken over their marriage as much at home as much as his life at work and stuff.
Do you know, when people ask me what my husband does, I tell them that he's a dentist, because it's a little bit less boring.
Nowadays, you can't just have I'm having an affair with the secretary, beep, beep, you know, and a pinch on the arse. It just won't work.
You all right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What meetings have you set up in Finland?
That was the next thing I was going to do.
Well, clearly, in the writing, to have someone who's the head of their own department and a smart, opinionated woman who actually finds some miraculous, there's something she actually rather likes back about Reggie, you know.
Oh, if the marriage is over, is this okay?
Yeah, that's good, sis. But why don't we start this tomorrow?
He said he finds you desperately annoying.
With you on that, old boy. Drive myself mad. He's quite sad in a way. His marriage is sort of broken up, and he's old school military.
Oh, and what are all your beloved weapons for? Something to polish at weekend?
Security. Can't defend Queen and country by waving a lettuce at the enemy.
Also, I think he lacks affection, and I think that's why it comes out he's always catching food and bits and bobs, because nobody actually spends time with him or asks him his opinion.
Got a cube of cheese, fig roll, that sort of chat.
But it was nice to have someone who's a great actress like Wendy, who, if you're talking about sitcoms, she's been there, 1,000 times.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wendy Craig!
Wendy, of course, just spot on. Always important in your actresses.
Tell her you want to have children.
I'm out early in the morning anyway.
Throw away those silly pills of hers and give her a good seeing to.
I'm free to Helsinki tomorrow.
I don't know. I've got to say that my favourite characters are, Anthony and Steve.
Give me a P.
P.
Give me a U.
U.
Give me an M. Give me an I. Give me a C.
C.
Give me an E.
E.
What do you get?
Whenever they're on, I just kind of crack up, really. So you can see two actors really enjoying themselves.
What you hope for with good comedy is that people will be truthful, but that they will push the truth in the direction of laughs as far as it can be pushed without ceasing to be the truth.
Get up!
And I think in the case of Chris, for instance, and in the case of the two acolytes of Reggie, Anthony and Steve, here are performances that go towards the edge of what is real but never beyond it, and that's I think it's been a joy in that respect.
How about a celebratory supper?
Oh, yeah. Poppadoms.
Not you.
Absolutely, keep it small.
Fine. And not you.
Just Jasmine.
27 minutes late, suspiciously bulging hold all at Coulsdon South. How are you, Vicky?
Kerry just sort of playing the receptionist secretary thing, written slightly dim, slightly disinterested. But what she did with that, the way she ran with that, and turned it, she'll have a series of her own. Hope she remembers all of us, that's all I can say.
It's very hard to choose the funniest moment out of the 764, which has reduced me to helpless hysterics, but I think the one I will choose just tickle me pink, because at home we do have wind chimes outside our door and they drive me crazy, and the wind chimes drove Reggie crazy when he was being seen by the wellness woman. So he stuffs them down the front of his trousers, and then he has to go and sit down. He can hardly walk. He's chiming as he sits down, and I felt the way Martin did this, it was a wonderful piece of physical comedy that reduced me to hysterics.
Hi.
Hello.
Take a seat.
The thing about the fantasies in Reggie is that it was adapted from my novel. And the first sentence of the first novel is, when Reginald Iolanthe Perrin set out to work that morning, he had no intention of calling his mother-in-law a hippopotamus. So there it was, something that had to be dealt with.
Hello.
Monty's feeling a bit low.
And from then on, the rest were obvious. You know, we've got the style, and in came the sexy fantasies and the aggression fantasies against CJ and all that sort of thing.
Is that a suit or a cry for help?
Quite good fun, the martial arts side of sort of dispatching CJ.
It's a very odd thing having that opportunity to kind of step outside the sort of naturalism of a normal, even a sitcom, which sends you a bit crazy for a while. You think, well, I could do this, I could have him thinking that, So you have to sort of rein yourself in.
I tell you what, I think you need some sort of physical release.
Great, thanks. That seems to have worked.
And the fantasy scenes, they're hilarious. You just don't get to do that normally, and so, yeah, no, they're good. The going over the desk was hilarious. It made me laugh quite a lot.
97% of the women under the age of 38 described you as irresistible.
Will you please go absolutely crazy for Martin Clue?
All ready upstairs? Here we go then. In 3, 2, 1, action.
27 minutes late. Freaking bike.
Terrifying. Yeah, terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. I mean, I love sitcom. I think sitcom, if you're on all the time, it kind of it breaks your nerves down quite quickly. But if you kind of just got to come in for a few scenes, it's terrifying. It's terrifying.
I'm watching you, Reggie. There's an icy wind blowing through personal grooming sector.
It is nerve-wracking, but you have to bear in mind that audience hasn't paid. They get a comedian to keep them chuckling during the dull bits, and usually they haven't been in the studio before. They're in the dream factory. So they're in a state of seat-wetting excitement before you start. And if you've got good jokes, which we had, they're an absolute gift. You don't even have to say anything funny. You go, diddly-diddly-diddly-do, diddly-do, way, they laugh, because we're all involved in the music of sitcom. It's great, it's a gift.
Martin is, so brilliant with the audience that they're kind of pretty well relaxed by the time you get on there,
Thank you very much.
Wobbly sets is not something I'm used to. I hadn't done this before. I'd done it really briefly for one pilot a million years ago. So I'm new to the genre. Feels really out of my comfort zone. I'm used to one camera, and that has taken me a bit of time to get used to. I'm now enjoying it.
Please go crazy for Miss Faye Ripley!
It is lovely having an audience. It does encourage you, and it gives you someone to play to.
Is that not right?
No, it is, yeah.
Well, of course, because I couldn't think what to say. I was thinking about, is it left or right? Everything would have been different if you'd had children.
It helps with the timing of the laughs and that sort of thing. So I enjoy it, actually, yes.
Ready, and cue on, please.
dead.